there is a Skarner ban, first off. We saw this last time, I believe, didn't we?
Yeah, so we saw... no, I think we accidentally saw the Teemo ban in place of the Skarner ban. I can't remember.
Hey,
or maybe we saw the Skarner ban.
I don't think many people want to be playing a game with Teemo in it, so I don't blame them for banning Teemo.
No, I completely agree with you there. The Riven ban.
Same goes for Riven, I guess. What else do you want to see? No Lysandra ban so far. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, that is really interesting. I feel like if Lysandra doesn't get banned on the side of against ANU, then it will be first picked again. It seemed like Matard was very, very confident on that pick, and that's why he had such a fantastic game with it.
UC banning away 2 tank picks so far. It was the carries which did the work last time. Ornn was awesome to watch. I loved watching Ornn. He did a lot of work as well.
He did a lot of work. It was interesting to watch how his ultimate worked for somebody who hasn't watched a lot of Ornn gameplay.
Yep.
But you see the Lulu ban coming out as well, which is really interesting. Really, it seems as though ANU are just banning what they know UC want to pick.
Yep, well, that's smart enough. I think that's going both ways. You know, UC taking away the Shen from Donkey Whale and also the Amumu away from Goonsack.
And we see the Lysandra ban finally coming out, so both of us have eaten our words here.
Yeah.
Lysandra ban coming out means that UC are already probably feeling a little more confident in themselves.
Absolutely, and there's the Kayn. I'm disappointed with the Kayn ban. If there's one thing I want to see more than I want to see Ornn, it's Kayn.
Kayn is fantastic in the jungle.
He's great.
But I do understand why ANU have decided to ban him against
UC. First picking Janna. Again.
Good pick.
It didn't do enough for them last time. She just got picked and assassinated time and time again. And if is it worth it, really?
Well, they've prioritized it as a first pick in both games, so that must mean that Austin is most confident on his Janna. A Soraka pick coming in as well, very interesting. Not something we see a whole lot of. Desperately hoping she has Star Guardian Soraka, because that is probably one of my favorite skins.
We could see a Star Guardian support.
Please.
Face off.
Star Guardian face off, and there's
Ooh,
two
Hecarim.
leaders.
Hold on a second. Hecarim. Okay, we do know, we have seen that Goonsack is experienced on the Hecarim. Obviously, he wouldn't be playing if he wasn't. But that's an interesting one. That's not the sort of thing you expect to see every day in a competitive League of Legends match.
Yeah, well, I did have a chat with Goonsack earlier today talking about what his most comfortable picks was, and he did say Hecarim. The J4 into the Hecarim jungle. Now, that's just very Season 5. I'm having some flashbacks. I'm having a great time. Like, where's the helicopter coming out?
Yep.
Helicopter Hecarim.
Ooh, Vayne.
Ooh.
That's good.
Janna Vayne combination, fantastic in the bottom lane, especially into something like the Soraka, because you can just chunk her down so quickly.
Absolutely, and also, yeah, because the stealth, Vayne can get into the backline, and it's going to make her harder to be assassinated by Hecarim, I guess.
Oh.
Adding to your Star Guardian.
We need to get all the Star Guardian skins out here, to be completely honest with you, and it would be very exciting for me to see them. But yeah, Lux, so I'll be interested to see how UC answer to the Lux in the middle lane, unless it's Soraka middle lane for some reason.
That would be great.
This isn't Soraka pre-rework, unfortunately, back when she could spam Q and win lane.
Well, first of all, Cho'Gath ban, top lane and AD carry, you got to think are going to be the things being selected by ANU. We know that Goonsack plays the Hecarim, and Donkey Whale doesn't seem to, and I think that's probably a better pick in the jungle. So we're going to be seeing probably top and AD carry bans by UC and ANU with the Twitch ban, actually. We've never seen a Vayne.
So the
never mind. I got confused.
The Twitch ban is really beneficial because Soraka Twitch would be just an absolute menace. Twitch being a reasonably squishy carry, very glass cannon-esque, it would be such a pain to have to deal with him and to try and assassinate him and just have him being healed consistently by that Soraka. So that was a very smart ban on the side of UC, and the Cho'Gath and the Kennen bans coming out on the side of ANU.
Where would you even play Kennen in the meta at the moment? Mid, top, jungle, AD carry? You can pretty much play any of them.
Top, probably.
Top?
He's
Okay.
still most common in the top lane with the hybrid AP build.
I like the Sivir ban, though. Taking away what was strong last game, she wasn't the biggest impact in the game, but she definitely put a lot of those teamfight damage. She put a lot of the damage out in the teamfights combined with the lockdown. So I like that. However,
Yeah.
I put taking the Ashe. Very different style.
I'm quite pleased to see the Ashe. That's just a personal favourite of mine. I'm a bit of a fan of Ashe. That's just me. But Ashe into Vayne is going to be a very interesting lane to watch. So I feel like bottom lane will be the most interesting lane for us to watch this game as comparison to middle lane being our focus last game. So seeing that Rumble come into the top lane as well with his ultimate would do a heap of damage against that Soraka and negate a lot of her healing.
I was just about to criticize UC's team comp for not having any tank liners. There's the Galio. Galio mid, I would assume.
Galio is also viable in the jungle. Just really depends on how you want to play him. We could see a J4 mid. That could be interesting.
That'd be nice. See Rumble. I would like to see how Rumble goes mid. I don't think he's very good, especially not into a Lux, but interesting to see.
Well, Galio, after his rework, is way more viable than he used to be, so it's quite interesting to see that today. Seeing that.
Oh, the Kale!
Now, I do believe ANU made it quite clear before where they said, and I quote, "If we win the first game, we're going to play a troll game for the second one." So that could be why we're seeing the Kale top lane and the Soraka support with the Ashe ADC. So it's going to be an interesting game for us to have to cast.
Absolutely. I love casting these kind of games. They are the best. They are the best things to watch. Because just this team in general, like...
Out of meta.
What on earth is ANU going to be doing with their team fights? They've got Ashe and Lux to, like, pick people off. They've got Hecarim for, like, good kind of hard engaged backline. Kale to be an extra hyper carry. What are they going to be doing with this game comp?
They're going to be playing solo queue. That's what it really looks like, to be completely honest. It looks like they're going to be attempting to play a solo queue game here and just do what they can do and see if they can get a win out of it. And look, with the team composition, I hope to God that UC grab a win from this one.
Yeah, well,
not because I want to cast another game, but because I would be ashamed on behalf of them to lose to a team composition like that. That's so all over the place.
You would feel pretty bad. But the power of cheese is very strong. Bug splat.
Oh. So...
All right, we've got a small issue there. If we can get a pause, we'll probably end up with a pause as the game
when we get
starts,
into game.
I believe. But that should hopefully be rectified pretty quickly.
You're in focus and I'm blurry. Oh, bye. I'm not even on the screen anymore. Bug spat,
But he's logging back in now. You see Frolic finally joining in. Not being able to see that Jarvan would be disappointing because Jarvan has the ability to take over a game completely.
Fnatic Jarvan of all, in fact.
Trying to channel the power of one of the last 8 Worlds teams remaining. 8?
Yes, I believe. It wouldn't be 7, maybe even 6 at this point in time.
Oh, yes, 7, maybe 6, depending on how the current games are going.
I'm looking forward to seeing who wins today's game of Team WE versus
I'm
Cloud9.
more excited about ANU versus UC though.
Well, look, I am excited about this too, but I'm allowed to.
All right, ANU have got the cheese comp. I want to see if they do any cheese in Vayne.
Oh, Star Guardian Janna.
There we are.
Yay.
Was it the Star Guardian?
I wanted Star Guardian Soraka. They've got programmed Soraka, which is still a pretty good skin, but Star Guardian Janna.
Going for a very like cyberpunk kind of sci-fi style.
Yeah.
ANU with their skins.
Etherwing, Kale, and Storm.
Steel Legion Lux.
Steel Legion, thank you. Steel Legion Lux. I have that skin. I should know what it's called.
And I don't know if we saw if that's the Arcade Hecarim because that completed, right? That'd be completing the set.
Let's have a bit of a squiz. Yep.
and
Arcade Hecarim and Project Ash.
Yep.
Fantastic. I'm respecting ANU skin picks here.
Absolutely. That gives them an early advantage. Like, most people don't know that, but the skin picks are all... Actually, J4, face checking into the Lux.
Beautiful.
And Galio. Dragon Ball. Showing off.
Simply stunning.
Yep. Looks like Jarvan didn't actually take too much damage from that fight up in the top lane.
Just peeked his head out.
Yep.
And he's now currently on his way back to start his buffs in the next 20 seconds.
Okay, so I believe when you're playing Kale, actually, I don't know if the Doran's Ring start is actually the meta start. I think I've seen people going things like 3 Fairy Charms and stuff like that. Just stuff to really keep the mana sustain in lane. But opting for the Doran's Ring. Safe pick, I guess.
Yeah, definitely a safe pick. Interesting pick. To be honest, I can't criticize the starting route that he's taken. I haven't seen a Kale in competitive play for such a very long time.
Probably since like what, season 3 and 4, where she was the dominant champion.
She's still quite dominant, but not as dominant. Oh.
Yeah, here comes the engage by Jarvan the fourth, but flag drag, Lux, not much happens. He just wants to get that damage back from the early game when he face checked her. That's all it is, just a bit of revenge.
And it seems as though we're getting a really good idea of how Frolic likes to play his jungle. This is the second game, and this is also the second time he's brought out some really early ganks. So he played the Ezreal last game, which had early ganking potential, and now he's playing the J4, which has very early ganking potential. But Janna looks to be in a bit of a bad place.
Yeah, she's getting bullied out by a Soraka, which not what you expect from Janna, I don't think. ANU, I feel like ANU have been been in these counter matchups where they've had the disadvantage in terms of the early game, but they've been putting out more damage and getting better trades overall.
Definitely.
Also, what about the Cull start? Cull start for Bash. Disrespect, or is that just attack, or do you think that's a good decision?
I feel like it's because she wants to be able to get ahead in lane, and it's not quite so much the problem of disrespect, it's just she wants to get ahead in lane.
Engage in the jungle, Goonsack going very low, flash over the blast going, but Frolic doesn't manage to follow him! So
fantastic flash coming out from Goonsack.
Yeah, that was weird interaction there. Frolic trying to get on the other side, not quite managing it. So, Goonsack managed to get away with his life. He didn't even burn Ghost in that engage, whereas Frolic burnt his flash, which is actually probably going to go in the favor of ANU, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, of course, Goonsack taking Ghost meant that there was no point in ghosting in that situation because he wasn't actually trying to get to any kind of position. You see Ashe throwing out that little bit of vision for herself. It seems like a fairly evenly played out game at the moment. There is only a 200 gold lead in favor of ANU, but the CS seems reasonably even. Everywhere except the middle lane, Lux is a little bit ahead in the middle lane.
I like that we don't have a Wet Noodle fight top anymore. We were kind of talking, but we end up watching quite a bit of that, those trades go back and forth, and it was actually a relatively explosive top lane last game, but now we've got two carries, two champions who can just go all in and completely destroy their opponent at a moment's notice. Ooh, Goonsack stealing away the Rift.
Disrespect. Absolute disrespect coming out from Goonsack there. Flirty Boy seems to be playing with fire on less than half HP. He does have full mana though.
Whoa, another gank coming in the mid lane. That was the J4, trying to put some more damage onto the Lux, but nothing's gonna come of it. Actually, no, that time they did get the flash.
Yeah, so getting that flash out of Matard, who is playing the Lux, will be a huge benefit for UC.
Sorry, correction. Flash for flash. Dragon Ball burnt his flash, I'm assuming to get the taunt onto Lux, and Lux burns the flash to get away. Lux, less mobile. Does that mean too much in terms of the, in terms of that flash for flash trade?
Because there is somewhat of hard engage coming out from Galio, could make her more at risk, but she does have the decent disengage from her snare, her slow, and she's also got her shield to save herself if she needs it. In fact, I'll be curious if they're going troll game to see if they actually build the Ardent Sensor on the Lux.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, put the Ardent, they've got a Soraka as well, so they can put the Ardent Sensor on her.
Ardent Sensors for everybody.
That's it though. Ardent Sensor Kale. Because that gives you the attack speed as well. That's terrifying.
That's horrible. I don't want that.
I want to see how forgot her name, Kale starts building this game. If Donkey Whale goes for the Ardent Sensor, that could just be an interesting time.
Yeah, definitely. Ardent Sensor on Kale would be a huge benefit for her, and she could utilize it for the rest of her team. Just have everybody, like top, middle, and support building an Ardent Sensor with ADC and jungle just, living the easy life with 3 Ardent Sensors on the team. Unfortunately, they don't stack, but still, it could make for an interesting team fight.
Why not do it anyway? Just, I guess you could have like a 1-3-1 split push where every lane has an Ardent Sensor. You wouldn't be able to proc it, but...
Yeah,
right?
It would be the only disadvantage that they would have from building the Ardent Sensor on everybody is Lux is the only one that can actually target. Well, I guess Soraka can target multiple people using the Ardent Sensor through her ultimate, but that is the only time where she can get more than one person to have the proc from the Ardent Sensor.
Here comes Jarvan forth with another gank, maybe? No, never mind. And we go back to the bottom lane.
If we actually look at J4's current statistics, he's actually 2 levels behind ANU's Goonsack at the moment, which is kind of detrimental for them. in the favor of Frolic. He's been too busy trying to focus on ganks that he's not successfully executing, and that's putting Goonsack ahead, who's just focusing on power farming like Hecarim does.
Okay. What point does Hecarim start ganking, if at all?
His best ganks come out at 6, but that's just the same as the Amumu from last game.
Yep.
Best ganks come out for these champions at 6. Did we just see... No, we didn't. I saw the twirl coming out from the Janna Tornado, and I thought it was Vayne's ultimate after her tumble.
Yep.
I thought, well, that was an interesting time to ult, especially seeing as you're level 5.
Yep. That's exactly it. I'll be interested to know what... Because Vayne, of course, got reworked last patch. I believe she builds crit at the moment. Like, that's her meta build. Wow, Lux putting a lot of damage onto the Galio. Galio not made to get the taunt back, so it's going to be a disengage. This time, the mid lane is not as keen to go for those big, let's just fight each other until the death kind of trades. Very close. Oh, very close to a snare, actually, there on
Yeah,
Vayne.
that was quite close to a snare, and I'm surprised that UC's ADC actually made it out of that. I feel like he's utilizing his tumbles really well to avoid...
Whoa! Ult comes out for Lux. That's a lot of damage, but Dragon Ball, he's still alive. He's up now. Never mind. There comes the Hecarim. Level 6. Gets the backup. That's a 1-for-1. UC have got to be happy with that out of a gank. Great flank.
1-for-1 trade. Putting that'll now put that Hecarim back down towards Frolic, and Frolic will actually have a chance to catch up against the Hecarim because he's now... Yes, he had a successful gank, got a kill due to turret damage, but the Lux only got an assist, so she's not going to be able to snowball as much on that as she would have if it was killed.
That's true. No Dark Seal into a into the oh, I forgot what it's called. Stacking AP item. Oh, we're doing well today. No stacking
Dark
AP.
Seal, Medjai's.
Yes, Medjai's Soul Seal. No Medjai's Soul Seal for Lux, which is I'm sad about. I like Medjai's Lux.
That's a little bit disappointing. I'm not sure if it's quite as viable as it used to be in earlier patches, but you know, as long as Lux is confident enough to build a Medjai's, then good on her.
That's exactly it. 1-1 at the moment. No, nothing too much happening. There are a lot of late game champions. However, Janna going for the insect with her ultimate. There we are! Knocked back! There's the jab and Cataclysm comes out. However, this Ashe is healing so much from the Soraka. However, no, there's the KO! Great TP! However, she's been taunted now. Village is going to go down. Eventually, there's iPod going down. Bloody Boy, quick to follow. UC with a 5-man gank in the bottom lane.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Fantastic gank execution coming out from UC. They're focusing on the picks, which is what they needed to do last game, but they are focusing on it now. That's what's important. Focusing on those picks. They do have 5 men in the bottom lane, which is leaving a solo lane.
Here's Frolic going even further onto the Kale. Kale has no more escapes left, but Frolic just happy with the tower.
They will get this bottom turret, so that's putting UC at a huge lead in the early game. Even though it'll only bring them back up to an even gold score, it is putting them in a lead in terms of objectives and kills.
This is probably a bit harsh, but I believe UC is now doing better in towers than they did last game.
Sorry?
I believe that UC at this point is actually doing better in towers than they did in the entirety of last game.
Well, they are. It's factual, unfortunately, for UC. Goonsack was going to get some more damage onto that turret, decided to back off. Very good decision, if you ask me. If we look at the map, can see that ANU still have ward control over UC, and that's something that UC really needs to work on, especially now that they're pushing up lanes. They need to be getting more vision into the enemy jungle so that they don't have these pushes and ganks turn against them.
Yep. So, yep, classic strategy. Once the first tower goes down, you send the bot lane to the top lane. They get a
Classic
chance
lane
to farm
swap.
up. Yep, lane swap.
Good time for the various single lanes to get some more XP.
Kale is also very impressive with her slows and her speed up. So we'll have to be a little bit careful on the Vayne. However, 3-person gank. Vayne doesn't quite make to dodge the fear. Jan's going down. That's it. Vayne can't do anything else here. She used her ultimate, but not quite enough. Kirby J pushed under tower, so he's not going to be able to get anything. Jungler for UC is in the top side, so there's no dragon. Slutty Boy's he's happy to 1v1 this while his AD carries out.
Yeah. Well, having a Rumble in a solo lane, just able to, you know, farm away and enjoy his time alone, is always beneficial for the Rumble. You know, if you can get a Rumble with CS up enough, he can just deal so much more damage than you'd expect him to put out in such a short period of time, especially with his ultimate, if he's lucky enough to get it on in a really good position.
Yeah, once he hits that level 11 point, that's that big damage spike for the Rumble, so like to see where he goes to focuses with his teleports. Whoa, engaged there by the Galio. J4's here as well, gets the flag and drag, but it doesn't quite connect. Cataclysm goes down, but Matard flashes away. Sets a flash for two ultimates? Well, one ultimate, really, for UC, so they're going to be happy with that. There's the ultimate, there's the equalizer.
That Cataclysm did come out from the J4 and the ultimate coming out from the Galio, so I believe that... Oh no, that wasn't the ultimate from the Galio,
that was
my apologies.
Heroic, not the heroic entrance, but the Justice Punch, I think.
Ah, yes. So, very beneficial for UC. Whilst they did get rid of the Cataclysm, Matard being Lux and not having his flash is going to be very detrimental for such a champion that has such low mobility.
Yep, indeed. I'd like to see, we do have the focus being in top lane in terms of damage for ANU. Actually, let's have a look at the, I'd like to have a look at the gold and where it's spread out at the moment. So that kill for Kayle is worth about 100 or 200 gold advantage in the top lane. And Kayle can take over a game. Like, even if Ashe and Lux both get behind, Kayle can completely demolish these lanes. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that manifests. Here's Frolic just to help clear the wave in the bottom lane.
Yeah, definitely. Seeing Frolic there with full HP.
Whoa, Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Not going to hit anyone. Set up nicely for the jungler and the mid laner there for ANU, who are both sitting, waiting patiently.
So if you look currently, you just see the Kayle has a double Doran's ring and...
A Stinger?
A Stinger, yes. I was almost going to call it a Zephyr. I don't know why. My brain is not working as good as I would like it to be.
No, only... Like, okay, well, now with Triforce, but not many people actually build Stingers, so that's fair enough.
Yeah. So, fantastic attack speed focused build. It looks like they might go turret to turret now. You see, really focusing on their objectives this game comparatively to the last game. I think that they're going a little bit
there's the taunt by Galio. They're going to get hard engaged onto Kayle. She pops her ultimate, but that's all she's got. There's the equalizer, and that's enough damage for the Vayne to clean it up. And now they're going to go back to and take the tower as well.
Seems as though I may have said it loud enough, and it looks like they're focusing on the picks rather than playing ANU's game. Even though they are playing into a very interesting team composition, they're focusing on taking out smaller picks rather than trying to get these team fights.
Yep, they're doing it, and they seem to be doing it perfectly well. Last game, ANU has a scaling advantage. This game, there's a Vayne, there's a Rumble. Is that enough to outscale the team of ANU? Sorry.
It's quite dependent on how they continue with the rest of their time. So they're going to get the Rift Herald now, which will be super beneficial, like I said, for their objective control. So Vayne can outscale Ashe. Ashe is currently beating Vayne in CS, but Vayne is ahead in assist and kills. And the Rumble is always going to be a menace. Even if Rumble is behind, he can always come back, and he can come back strong. And he's not at too much of a CS deficit, which is reasonable for the Rumble.
Yeah.
Going into an attack speed build Kayle.
Frolic once again taking his blue buff, not giving it over to Captain Dragon Ball. I think that's very fair on this composition. However, Goonsack engaging. Now, we see that Galio has almost no abilities up, and also, well, he has the taunt, but he has almost no mana and almost no health. But Goonsack, reinforcements don't arrive early enough for him. So it's going to be a
little bit of a waste on the Hecarim
ultimate.
ultimate.
Vayne sitting at the top side. Ashe still has Enchanted Crystal Arrow up, so she can get that engaged from a very long range at any point. TP comes down, there's the Kayle and the Hecarim also there. Oh wow, the damage onto Frolic is really large, and ANU taking the tower.
He just disappeared for a second there. I think just my brain didn't register that he was still alive. I thought he had died.
Matard trying to put some damage on this lane. Matard's been chipping away at this tower for so long. You gotta think he's gonna get that eventually, even with a Rumble. Watching a stand Rumble always makes me laugh. There's the ultimate, flashed away.
Not sure if disrespect or necessary.
Well, he's alive. He's burning his flash, but he's alive. So I like to think that for the most part, that's gonna be a decent trade. You know, better not risk it. Now, UC, all here. There's the equalizer though, and iPod taunted in the equalizer. However, Kayle comes out, stuns and snares onto the UC team. Frolic diving the backline. There comes the heroic entrance. J4, however, being the first one to take it down. Matard, so low. iPod doing so much work. So's Donkey Wall. They have the positioning advantage. Snare comes into Galio. Is that a clean ace? No, Jana's still alive, but she's not going to be able to do anything by herself. That team fight from ANU, the positioning was so good. iPod iPod and Donkey Whale.
Again, we see UC getting a little bit flustered and engaging in team fights that they really shouldn't be engaging on, knowing that they should know that they can't win those team fights. They should know that they should be focusing on these picks. If this game is won for ANU, it doesn't go to a third game. It's actually a win of the tournament for ANU for the second year in a row. So UC really need to pick up their game here and start focusing on getting those picks like they were earlier in the game. In fact, we noticed at about 17 minutes last game was when UC started to turn towards the more negative side of their concentration, I guess. They stopped peaking, I guess, is the best way. They'd hit their peak and they started to go downhill at approximately 17 minutes last game as well. This could be just what seems to happen with them. They hit that middle game and then they start to lose confidence.
Does seem to be the team fighting for UC, which is having a bit of trouble with. Like I said, good positioning from everyone on ANU, really.
Seeing a bit of BM coming out from Flirty Boy.
Yep. Flirty Boy not afraid to show that kind of show his dominance, I guess, in this situation. He has such an aggressive Soraka player. I don't think I've seen any other Soraka player play that far forward and make it work as well. I really appreciate that.
Exactly.
There we see Vayne with a red buff now, so they're really putting the game onto Vayne's shoulders. We haven't talked about the fact that there is really Vayne and Rumble are the only two carries, and Rumble's a pretty passive carry. Galio gain the snare onto the Lux, but Lux's flash is up, so she's just going to walk away. Cannon Crystal Arrow, not finding anyone, just there for the disengage.
Yeah, exactly. The disengage.
Rift Herald pop. Yes, continue.
Yes. That is very beneficial on the side of UC. Getting that Rift Herald out just continues for their macro and controlling of the turrets and objectives. But it looks like it's not going to get as much damage as they had hoped, and it is going to give just 25 gold across to ANU's side.
UC, full retreat mode now. ANU looking for any kind of stragglers they can. This might be an unfortunate position for UC. That Hecarim ult can do a lot of work, but they're just looking for anything they can here. Any kind of engage in the jungle. Rumble playing carefully here. He doesn't. Yes, he does have his equalizer. He is level 11, which is going to mean that equalizer is going to do a lot more damage than ANU I think might even be ready for. So.
Yes, definitely. The equalizer is just known for dealing an incredible amount of damage though, and ANU need to respect that and to play around the idea that they could just be melted quite instantly by that immense force.
The immense force, which is a level 11 Rumble.
No.
1 and 2.
He's scary.
But he is absolutely terrifying. 1 and 2, still managing to put out a lot of threat as he said before.
1 and 2 with a fully built Leandri's Torment.
That is very true actually. Wasn't actually looking at their items. Here we see Madad playing very, very recklessly, I guess. Gets a snare onto Janna. Wow, that ultimate damage! There comes the Hecarim engage, gets a fair onto 3 members, and now they're all snared up. There goes the equalizer. It's in the middle of the Cataclysm as well. ANU, however, managed to fight through it. They tank it out. They use the KL ultimate on their carry, and now it's just going to be cleaning up the members of UC.
Yeah, again, we just see another example of UC taking on team fights that they shouldn't be taking, and a clean ace comes through for ANU, and they're going to get that Infernal Drake as well, which is going to just put them even further ahead. Currently, the score is 4-11 with a almost 10k gold lead.
10k gold lead at 20 minutes. Even SKT have trouble with that. It takes someone like SKT to be able to come back from something like that.
Yes, it does. But unfortunately, we're not going to find anybody like Faker in Oceania as a whole.
I don't know. I believe in Dragon Ball.
You believe in Harvey
Dent?
Dent?
Team fight. He can make it happen if anyone can.
Harvey Dent can make it happen.
Kirby J and Stelpner as well on those carries. I reckon they can put out some damage. That was a good ultimate by Equalizer. That was actually a really good wombo combo. What went wrong there for UC? I'm trying to put you on the spot. What went wrong for UC? They got an amazing wombo combo for...
that was it though. They got an amazing wombo combo and that's where it ended. There wasn't enough damage coming out after that. The Vayne was too separated from her team. The equalizer went out, and that was really good, and it got a fair amount of damage out. But I feel like these things needed to be done on top of each other. The Cataclysm and then the equalizer, and then the Vayne just peeling on this Cataclysm would have worked significantly better. But Vayne was so far back when the Cataclysm came out and was trying her hardest to kite, but it just wasn't successful.
That's very unfortunate for the UC team. That's I guess the perils of picking such a short-range AD carry. I actually want to slap Mad Hart not Mad Hart, compliments to Mad Hart, but I want to slap Osp on the wrist for this, because they had vision of the Lux. They knew Lux was waiting in the Dragon Pit, and he still got caught out.
I honestly thought that the Lux ultimate was going to miss him, to be completely honest. It looked as though it was so far to the edge, but I guess that's just the visual particles being a bit elusive, giving us kind of that illusion that these things are going to happen when they aren't. So it was a bit of a shock for me to see that the Lux had actually hit her ultimate onto Austin as the Janna.
And also so much damage from that ultimate. I was thinking, yeah, that's half his health gone. He almost died outright to that. And obviously was followed up, I'm pretty sure died to the one ult and Cube Hecarim. Wow, UC trying to set up a death bush, but it's going to be turned around and the Hecarim gets taunted, but not before he managed to get the charm. Condemned away by Vayne, not quite like he wanted. However, Frolic putting some damage onto Ashe, but now he gets caught out. The equalizer is used. Goonsack tanking it, going to the backline. Now, Dragon Ball trying to set up some sort of backline dive, but he can't take 4 members of the team.
Yeah, Frolic escaping with those grievous wounds on him, but the Janna shield saves him, but that Kale damage.
So much damage into Kirby, that's a solo kill. There's the ultimate coming out. Kale, like I said, so oppressive. If she can get that damage off, there's Goonsack going in, taking out Janna. Janna pick is not working for UC. Second time they first picked it. I don't know if it's working for them.
I'm not sure if it's the Janna as a singularity that's the issue here on the side of UC and their team composition. I think it's just, as a whole, they've got this really great team composition, but they're not utilizing it as well as they should be. And that's the reason why they're losing these games, and that's why they need to be sticking to picking off rather than having team fights, and that's the biggest problem here. And that is why we are seeing ANU with these cheese picks in Lux, Kale, Hecarim, Soraka, and Ashe just absolutely dominating. Whilst they may not work as fantastically in a team composition as the Rumble, J4, Galio, Vayne, and Janna should, it's very much a solo queue game. It appears to be a solo queue game. They're playing their own games, but they're still winning.
Yep. I had a point. I think I've lost it. But actually, no, I think I'm just going to address the fact that it is 2 inhibitors open in the base for UC and a 15k gold lead. Well, more than a 14k gold lead for ANU, which is just it's going to be hard for UC to come back here.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I hope that they don't give up at this point just yet. Whilst they do have super minions coming down the middle and the bottom lane, I hope that they utilize what they can to try and turn it around, to make the game go for a little bit longer, and say they can turn around at the end of the day and say, you know what, we may have lost, but we tried, and that's what's most important. Because as after school specially as that sounds, it is what's most important when it comes to these games. Not only is respecting your own faults, but also being able to approach and accept loss or defeat.
ANU don't have the double Mountain Drake which they had last game, but they're still going to be taking this Baron down relatively quickly with their composition, the double carry composition. And the Hecarim's pretty good at that as well, but the 2 kind of basic attacking AD carries supported by the Ardent Sensor from the Soraka is going to take that down pretty quickly.
Exactly, and having that Kale with that Rage Blade as well. It's just going to be dealing so much on-hit damage, which is basically the best thing you can do for a Kale. She's 6-1 and 5, Hecarim is 6-1 and 7, Lux is 0-0 and 12. Lux actually hasn't died this game. She's been a really great utility mage this game. Not getting all the kills, not being that assassin like Matard was playing last game, but being fantastic and being involved in... I can't give you a percentage off the top of my head.
There's a Condemn coming in from Vayne. Ultimate burn. Vayne is very low. There comes the ult also for Lux. However, it looks like it's going to be alright. Lux kind of played by Janna there, keeping the AD carry alive. However, Dragon Ball going in, but only now to taunt one person, and he goes down to Kale. and Ash's auto attacks. Goonsack now trying to make that aggressive play once again, keeping people off his team. Kale now pushing for the victory. ANU looking to end it right here. They've got the mid laner down for UC, but the rest of the team is still up. Frolic, however, not up for very long. There goes the last tower. Gonna be next to fall very quickly.
Great effort coming out
Double
from
kill on
UC with
play.
the attempts to bring it back. They did a fantastic job and they tried. Everybody, let's get a round of applause for the tournament champions ANU and another round of applause